Before we begin, this video contains big major spoilers for upcoming episodes later on in the future. Thanks for watching, and viewer discretion is advised.
So, remember that video from about 2 years ago that nobody watched? Well, if you did. It was about me ranking every episode of Animation vs. Minecraft. I actually had this video created in a span of 10 days, so during my final exams, I'm gonna challenge myself to rank every other episode from Alan Becker's channel. But, this wouldn't come without rules, of course. 1. I'm only going to add videos that are part of the series. This includes Animator vs Animation, Animation vs Minecraft, Animation vs Education, and Green's Influencer arc. I won't be adding in the Teen Tree /C Water videos as they are sponsored videos. I won't be including the actual Swords series because it'll be a hell of a lot to rank. And finally, I will include videos such as Animation vs Mario, Animation vs Arcade, Animation vs Pokemon, etc. because those aren't in a direct series. But I can make a video about ranking those types of videos in the future. 2. I won't be counting videos that are separate from the Animator vs Animation cinematic universes. This is because Alan's other videos are weird.
Do you want to see something freaky?
3. I won't be including all of Greenzilla 4 as those aren't really part of the series, as in you can watch them directly on the Alan Becker channel. And finally, 4. I will be going in chronological order by series and not by canon release date. More info later. This video was inspired by Musta Mochi, as she also does Alan Becker analysis videos. Give her a watch for content while we're at it also, cause she personally explains it way better than I ever can. Anyways, that's 61 videos to rank, and almost 2/3 of them are from Animation vs Minecraft. It's not a bad thing, but it's surprising to see it's influential. Speaking of, the order is shown. Animation vs Minecraft, Animator vs Animation, Animation vs Education, and Green's Influencer arc. With that out of the way, get ready for about 2 hours, maybe, of me talking and 3 years of me cringing. Let's go.
AVM 0 Beta. This takes place during Animator vs Animation 3, where the Chosen One and the Dark Lord take over the internet, where they fly into Minecraft. At first, they are seen destroying everything in their path, until the Chosen One picks up blocks and realizes he can build. This then sparks a dynamic between the two of them. The Chosen One is seen to enjoy the calmer parts of Minecraft, and the Dark Lord is dreaming on a rounded Friday manhunt. There isn't much to get off this episode, other than it switching between how the Chosen One and the Dark Lord optimize Minecraft. Also, there's a fun reference in this video. I was actually shocked when I first saw it. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels as these stickmen can just bend Minecraft's building mechanic. It's not bad, but it makes a lot of theoretical plot points. Either way, the Dark Lord comes back with a bunch of Either way, the Dark Lord comes back with a lot of swords, and they eventually leave. Now, whether the Chosen One get any second thoughts about the Dark Lord, I sure hope nothing bad happens. This episode was a fun treat to see on a random day of July. It sort of makes sense though. Like, the Chosen One and the Dark Lord explore the internet, so why wouldn't they explore Minecraft? My only problem is how they got there. They probably accidentally fucked up and ended up in some kid's laptop or something. It's still fun and I recommend watching it, even if it's not to start chronologically, or video releasingly. Think of the Zelda games, I suppose. Those are all over the place. Animation vs Minecraft 2015. Hello Windows 7. Anyways, the second comment is habit of skipping, which is where he steps on the Minecraft icon and gets confused for a second. He backtracks and eventually realizes he can use Minecraft. Some more stuff happens. The Stick Gang eventually make cool things, like Green making a windmill, for example, which is where Yellow goes to hand it to Red, but Red turns evil! This is where Red goes to harass his friends to escape into the storage folder. The rest of the gang go and prepare to head into the storage folder. Frick. They see mobs and kill them. Eventually, they take it too far and meet Red in this sort of nether-esque area, which is where he becomes this mecha stick figure, and absolutely WWE slam dance the hell out of them. Even with all the tools broken, they fight back, and eventually, Minecraft is deleted, now without Herobrine coming out as a sort of possession. It's no surprise that Herobrine is the main villain in all this, but it's inconsistent as we don't even get an insight on where they came from. They're just sort of there. Either way, all is said and done, not before the second comic picks up League of Legends icon. Was it yellow? Yeah, it was yellow. You could tell there was a massive dip in quality compared to EVM 0, but it's probably the foundation of one of the most inspiring series of all of indie animation. at least in my eyes. And even with the dip in quality, it still holds out on its own, having almost 350 million views in its 10 years of running as of writing this. That's awesome. AVM1, The Rediscovery. The Rediscovery is a weird one. It's sort of a sequel, but also it isn't. I guess that makes the original 2015 mock-up the pilot. Either way, Orange finds the Minecraft icon again and was about to mess with it, but the color gang walk up and get suspicious. Eventually, he brings it back and everyone starts playing with it again. Yellow was about to give it to Red, but is aware of what he did. But the thing that makes me upset is that they saw him get possessed as well, so why get more scared of Red? You literally saw it. Anyways, they cautiously give Red the block. He starts to become possessed and spawns in bunnies! So cute! But then he gets hit. Anyway, it's funny, it's silly, it gets a good grip on what you need to expect, but there isn't a lot to say about it. It's sort of the introduction to this short series. Short series. AVM2, the building contest. This is actually not the only build battle video in the series. More in episode 17 later. Orange gives the rest of the gang some blocks to build an excavator. Sure. Anyways, there's a time for 5 minutes and they all get to building. Everyone builds, then the 5 minutes are up. Charging time! It's green and he has the best building, but it gets blown up. There is less to say about this episode than the other one. It's just a building contest. It's a good foundation for the Minecraft community and works well. Also, watch this episode with subtitles, because at the time, YouTube had community captions, where channel subscribers could edit captions with permission. On to the next. AVM3, the roller coaster. Yellow is seen messing with redstone, but accidentally breaks the Windows bottom screen bit thing. Yellow tries to patch it, but it goes exploring to what's down there anyways, to which he ends up in a mine shaft. He grabs some rails and has an idea, which is where the roller coaster comes in. It's actually really amazing to see. Yellow truly is a genius when he puts his mind to it. Anyway, he gets the rest of the color gang to ride it. They go through narrow ways, through bouncers, loops, and lava, not joking, and through intertwining pathways. And then they reach the end. Nah, I'm lying, fuck you. They then fall and get ready for a huge jump. They manage to make it through the deadly rings of fire! Hashtag Minecraft physics. Why am I saying this? This video is a big predecessor to the better roller coaster episodes in my opinion, both of which surprisingly include Yellow. It's probably the most cinematic we'll ever see of season 1, by the way. It's not a bad thing, but it's a bit sad that the dip of quality kind of amplifies itself. I love it a lot though. AVM4, Potions. Potions is probably one of those episodes that gets looked over. With that said, I still find it really funny. It's honestly underrated. Anyway, Blue is seen gardening, but as he eats his crops, he accidentally eats a weed brownie. Basically, Blue is now what he drugs. How can you love this guy? Anyways, Blue experiments with the bottle in a brewing stand and ends up making a potion. Meanwhile, Red makes a pet pig, to which he finds Blue's stash of potions. Even then, he's totally wasted. That's when the pig ingests the potions and absolutely ruins everything. And then he becomes Super Saiyan and beats up the gang, and then everyone becomes Super Saiyan and beats up the pig. But then, the pig runs out of buffs and dies. This leads Red to mourn for about 10 seconds, to which he makes a new pet. It's more of an action-packed episode, but it goes to show even with the most mundane episode, this shows the origins of the pig, Blue's love for brewing, and of course, crack. I would also like to tell you that his addiction to netherwort becomes really, really important later on. But with all that said, let's move on to the next episode, which I personally find really nice. AVM5, No Blocks. Dude, I love this episode. Probably the best episode out of anything we've seen thus far. It may change well. Anyways, Red and Blue are making a statue of a chicken, to which they end up on a note block. Blue goes to destroy it, but realizes he can play notes with it. After they realize they can use certain blocks to make different instruments, Yellow pops in and drops a beat. Green then comes in and sways everyone else, which is when Green gets the full idea to make giant jazz band composition. Some more stuff is done, and it becomes a full fleshed out song. This is the first ever original Becker song ever made as far as I'm aware. No, I'm kidding. Orange comes down and turns down the volume of the PC. That's when Blue turns it up to 100 and the rest of the gang makes the finale. All Bro wanted to do was go to bed. This song was created by Aaron Grooves, who does video game music. Go listen to his channel, he's awesome. I also like how the stick figures interact, with the blocks. You can tell red and green and yellow are intermediate, even though yellow uses redstone, and green is a lot more skilled than people realize. It's awesome. AVM6, command blocks. Yellow is seen messing with the Minecraft hotbar until he reaches the end, but breaks through to reveal some interesting blocks. He picks up this command block, he types in start, but nothing happens. For
but then a list of commands come out, to which he can make up anything at will. Red is seen skipping until he sees a cake, but it's moving away from him. Red is then tasked to shoot an apple, and then he gets many, many cakes. Red catches Yellow, and they team up to cause fun around the others. Red is seen showing magic tricks to Blue and Green, which is where it becomes a Thunder Axe. Thunder Axe, which is where it becomes a Thunder area, but Thunderbolt lands on a command block, to which it glitches every other command block. Orange arrives and sees Green's with chickens everywhere in his face, but unexpectedly, another lightning bolt hits another command block, and everything just goes horrible. Then they start glitching. Is that glitch familiar to anyone? Anyways, the system gets restarted and everything is back to normal, but then they light a bonfire to remove it. Command blocks may be just a silly little episode, but like Blue's addiction to Netherwart, it's also really important later on, but more to that later. It was hella funny seeing all the wackiness that the command block has to offer.
AVM7 PvP. Welcome to the episode with the shortest title. They're trying to build buildings, but it gets more tense as they realize they have to build over each other's buildings. This causes them to have fights and start beating each other up. But not just that, they also vandalize each other's work. As Green is about to light up Orange's building with TNT, he gets killed! No! Rest in peace, Green. You were a lovely soul. Nah, just kidding, he's fine. Anyways, the rest of the gang are holding a funeral service for Green, to which he comes back. Hooray! Oh, they killed him. This is a standard to showcase PvP in Minecraft without overcomplicating it. I personally don't find it funny as the rest of the episodes, but some parts maybe chuckle a bit. The captions are funny too. EVM8, the Nether. This episode actually shakes up a bit. Since we've already reached the halfway point of this series, this is where the show's drama starts out. Blue is seen eating cake to where Green comes and asks for the rest of it. Blue makes another cake, but a zombie pigman drops onto him. Blue and Green see that it's in the storage folder. Why is it always a storage folder? Anyways, they head inside and see themselves in the Nether. They discover some quartz, accidentally hurt a pigman, get some more mobs up their ass, hijack a gas that can kill it, end up near a portal, and wait, who is this? Well, we should have more drama, right? And they go into the portal at the end. It's a good way to brew what's this come next of season 1, but it's kinda sucky considering the fact that stuff kinda just happens. The way they hijack the gas is awesome, and showing Purple as a sort of new guy is a good way to get someone out of their seat, because I don't think anyone's ever seen them before, as of now. Anyways, let's move on. AVM9, Villagers. After Blue and Green enter into the portal, they end up on the macOS desktop. Like me! I have one. Anyway, villagers see the two of them and lead them to Purple's kingdom. Eventually, they reach Purple and start trading with the villagers, but then they get locked up because, well, fuck them. Anyways, they bribe their way out of the prison and start trading again. This forms a crowd of a bunch of trade, but after the trade is done, the villagers create a giant statue of Purple around his throne. Purple realizes the villagers are still loyal to him, and befriends Blue and Green. Purple then leads Blue and Green to an end portal, and they jump in. This is a nice little outside of who Purple is. I don't have much of an idea who they could be right now, but a good idea of who they are can come down to the fact that they are royalty. But even if Purple is there for season 1, he'll be much more important. I feel like I said that about 100 times, but the amount of callbacks that are important for the series is astounding. AVM 10, the end. Orange, yellow, and red go to the storage folder and enter into the Nether portal. Green, blue, and purple end up at the end, defeat or, well, tame the Ender Dragon. Meanwhile, orange, red, and yellow are looking for green and blue. The villagers recall them entering through some door, so they go there. Purple and blue land on an end ship and chase after the Ender Dragon. Meanwhile, Purple manages to grab an elytra. As to tie the Ender Dragon to the end ship, Purple goes to grab the egg, but the dragon destroys the ship. Purple, is being self-centered little bitch he is, goes for the egg. But it's okay. Orange and the gang come for the two of them. Oh, but the dragon completely destroys Purple's kingdom. But it's fine. Purple gives the dragon an egg to the Ender Dragon, and they both fly home. Yes, they both fly home. Anyways, Purple gets thrown in prison. Later, they leave the macOS village, and Orange just wants to go home. But then, more portals? Oh no. Oh. Hey, future me right here? That's probably the stupidest thing I've done in my entire life. This episode shows the complexities of Purple. Once you watch the later episodes, everything sort of clicks into place. Sorry for the short opinion. Watching this again, it feels like a nothing burger. I'm crying. AVM11, Sky Black. Bruce, do you want to say hi to my fans? Do you want to say hello to everyone in the live chat? Because you're disturbing my work, aren't you? Huh. Are you gonna say something? No? No? Oh, okay. So, the color gang go into the portals, whereas Orange leaves to go home. They rush in and end up in Skyblock. They got some tools and not much is there to do. Blue has another sapling, so... Anyway, Orange is just chilling in this Temu beach, lovely, and resists an entire empire consisted of the 4 stick figures. All the while, Orange tries to gradually miss them more and more, until he senses a big disturbance in the force and goes to save his friends. The rest of the gang are just trying to survive anyways. Orange is here and he's going to save everyone, hooray! No, fuck you, there's a gas, go edit all. This episode is really funny, but also a little sad. Orange doesn't realize his friends are in trouble until it's too late. Azuma's is a bittersweet episode, which has its happy but sad moments. Orange is alone, and if he left a little bit earlier, he could have actually done so. Don't mind the background noise, that's just Bruce, okay? I don't mean— Eva M12, they kill a bunny. Orange ends up in this area where he meets a bunny, which can understand and talk to him. The bunny ends up taking him to this amazing house, to which he invites Orange to some food. But then, uh-oh, the bunny is evil! Anyways, the color gang are basically just lost on what to do, until the rain clears and all the mobs are vulnerable. Anyways, Orange and the bunny fight, but then the pillagers come down and kill him, but oh no, everything is TNT. Anyways, Orange escapes, and the color gang defeat the enemies, but it's always one that just gets in the way. Either way, the land does some water and the episode ends. And Alan does some amazing beatboxing outro, how lovely. I got nothing, man, I'm sorry. I think it's just there for the sake of being here. If you got rid of like 80% of the entire episode, then it'd probably be like, you know, an eligible short thing. I don't hate it, but it's sort of a filler episode in my eyes. EVM 13, the Dolphin Kingdom. It starts with Red fishing in a boat after they fell, and the others are eating fish. Yellow business but sees an entire marine environment there. That's when they realize they can't breathe, but then a dolphin appears and gives them turtle helmets. These allow them to breathe underwater, and so they follow the dolphin. They see the Dolphin Kingdom and are later tasked to find the king's queen. Meanwhile, Orange escapes into another portal and ends up in a cave. There isn't a lot of orange in this episode. Anyways, the color gang defeat the Guardians and grab the queen. After an amazing ceremony, they go to find Orange, but during that, they end up in an army of drowned. Either way, they escape and Green does a breakdown. Probably the first time they cried, like, ever. Anyways, that's the end. Nah, it is not. No, don't worry about that. Orange breaks through the wall, and the 5 of them are united, but oh my god. At least this episode has something to it, unlike episode 12. It's awesome to see an underwater episode from time to time. I don't have a lot to say about some of these episodes, mostly because they're really brief, half-baked, or kind of boring. Let's move on. EVM 14, Caged by the Roller Coaster. They explore more and keep up ending up in dead ends, until some of them get captured by spiders. Eventually, Red, Orange, and Yellow are saved, and the 5 of them run into a roller coaster chain. With that being said, some spiders chase them on this roller coaster chase, and it is genuinely wild. They spree bridge across a gap, jump over a gap, and fall from a gap. And then the signature air fight happens, and then fall again. But they are saved by Red's love for chickens. But then the Spider Queen shows up, almost kills everyone, but then a Wither shows up and obliterates her. Anyways, Orange takes them through the portal, and then they completely destroy it. This video is by far the most popular video on all of Alan Becker's channel. It has over 500 million views as of writing this, which is genuinely insane. This episode also shows many things, like Green's use for the fishing rod, among others. Anyway, that was all of Season 1, but I'm not going to stop there. I'm not stopping until I rank every video. So with that said and done, let's move on to Season 2, starting with... AVM 15, Reston Academy. Oh fuck, we're in school? Anyways, the color gang, minus Yellow, learn about redstone and its functions like different tools and other things, like timing, hoppers, observers, and more. After they learn everything, they are told to make something with the knowledge they now have, for them to win a trophy. You have 7 days. Orange and Green fight to get the better build with redstone, but that is until Yellow starts to rank the builds. Red is a car wash, Blue is a crop extractor, Orange builds a 2D game, and Green just casually builds Minecraft because of course he does! Either way, Red wins, but Green gets punched in the face. This episode is fun to watch. It's nice to have a little break from all the drama-compelled stories and just wind down for something fun. Green's DDR segment makes me wish it was DDR in Minecraft. Oh well, you can't win them all, can you? No, you never can. AVM 16, no blood barrel. It starts with Green jamming, but everyone else interrupts him. With that, Red and Blue gets the fantastic idea to make a musical chicken, which rivals Green. But then everyone rivals Green, and it turns into this band thing, but also a battle. It gets crazy when Green and the chicken get electric guitars, and an absolute godsend of a song plays. But then TSC comes in with something that feels like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and kills everyone. Chicken with a banjo is funny. This episode was a fan favorite of mine up until like AVM 29. I swear, every No Block episode has an incredible charm to it. All of it is just hella fun. Also, I like how the final song is a nod to Symphony No. 5 by Beethoven. It's just a fun episode. AVM 17, Build Battle. This is just a glorified build battle episode, though I don't know if it's just me, but personally, I don't like it. It's fine, but it doesn't have to be here. It just feels like a filler episode they added. Anyways, Green wins all of the build battles, but this drags for about 4 minutes. That is until they have to make a bear. Green mistakenly creates the wither which destroys his building. That's where Blue finally wins one of these, hooray! The only interesting things about this episode was where the second coming keeps fighting sleepiness and Green's default dance. I guess this proves Green likes Fortnite. Also, I love how expressive Yellow is. But anyway, this episode is mediocre. It's just a downgrade of the original episode from season 1. Moving on. AVM 18, Texture Pack. They're all chilling in a house up until Yellow ends up in the Minecraft Assets folder. Red tries to stop him, but that's when Yellow entices Red to have fun. This is where the entire house is ruined, and Yellow and Red try to fix it. It goes swimmingly at first, but everything is so wonky and messy. Orange, Green, and Blue try to interrogate Yellow and Red about it, but Yellow has the idea to make it more wonkier until it all turns black. And they just mess with them through more. But that's when they all decide to just enjoy the mess they're all in, the end. This episode is just funny to watch. It doesn't even need to be serious, it's just silly. There isn't much to say. Let's just move on to the next. AVM 19, Lucky Blocks. Red is seen just moving until a Lucky Block temple arrives. They break it to reveal many different perks and things that appear from each one. That's when Yellow wants to see what actually goes on in one of those. This is where it's transported into this Lucky Block world. As Yellow explores more, he sees how the Lucky Blocks create all these functions. He eventually comes up to show everyone his amazing power. He gives them all different tools, which is into the Lucky Block orb gets to his head and corrupts him. Yellow is in jail, but has a spare block to transport himself to the Lucky Block world. With him there, he hijacks a Lucky Selector and gives his friends tools to help. But then Blue gets corrupted. Blue gets transported to Lucky Dimension and helps out Yellow. While this happens, more and more of their friends are corrupted. The rest of the gang help out Red, who thanks the gods above. But even he isn't able to stop them. But in his last moments, he sends off a pig to stop the corruption, to which the original orb gets moved back to the temple, and everything is bounced back to reality. That's when Orange shows an Emerald Lucky Block. This episode is probably the most serious that Season 2 will get, while still keeping its funny moments. It's fun to see the custom tools of the Lucky Block world is really surreal and awesome. And with that is the end of Season 2. It may have been an extremely short season, but there's a subtle pattern. The odd seasons are drama-based, whereas even seasons are more silly. I hope they keep it going. Anyways, on to the most infamous season of all, Season 3. Starting with AVM 20, The Piglin War. Blue is making his signature meal until he runs out of nether wart too quickly, so he goes to the nether to get more. He goes into the storage folder and makes a portal. Why is it always a storage folder, dog? He notices how it looks noticeably different to what he's seen before. He meets a piglin kid and releases into the piglin family. After a bit of back and forth, they go in search of nether wart. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang see the portal and go inside. But while that happens, Blue loses his helmet, but a bunch of zombie pigmen invade them. Blue falls onto a strider below and eventually gets his helmet back. Blue eventually comes back with the piglins and tries to leave, but one of those zombies grabs hold of the baby piglin. Blue goes to save it, but loses his helmet during it. Either way, the piglins decide to keep him anyway. This will break all of Minecraft's logic, but it works. Anyways, Blue finally reaches a nether fortress and goes to find that there's no nether wart. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang follow the pig in search of Blue, and eventually, Orange is there and leads him to somewhere. Yes, that's Orange. Definitely Orange. Not an imposter, totally. Anyways, you may look at this and think that it's nothing too hasty considering it's just Blue on a quest for nether wart, but as you develop more into Season 3, things can get crazy. So stick around until then. I said that way too many times, but that's just why you have to believe in me. That's all I have to say about this series. It's one of my favorite series, actually. Just bear with me here. Alright, on to the next. 1821, The Witch. Blue comes out with Orange, but Orange is actually a witch! What? Anyways, the rest of the gang go in and find Blue. Totally blue. Yep, totally blue. That is definitely blue. One by one, they get captured until Orange goes in after finding it suspicious. That's when Orange goes to find his friends. Either way, they get everyone back through various methods, but still realize Blue is missing. He's probably captive because there can only be one lol. Also, the witch steals the pig. That witch is a rage baiter, I swear. Meanwhile, Blue is isolated and alone. He sees another word plant but can't reach it because he's a piston. Meanwhile, Blue can finally see his surroundings after the TNT blows up and escapes to where he makes some potions. Have you ever seen a piston move so quickly? Well, you have. It's amazing. Anyways, they fight where they transform into many things until they all become die. But then the pig drinks all the potions and becomes super buffed up and totally obliterates the witch. Then they see Purple! Purple leads them over into a portal. Orange is skeptical, however, and leads them home. But Pearl is upset, so they go anyway. It's a nice introduction to Purple again, and it's also nice to wind down and enjoy a little potion battle from time to time. I swear, Alan can make any type of battle with any type of object or thing. It's amazing. EVM 22, Parkour. Purple shows about parkour challenge where they all have to make it across the fastest amount of time. After the amount of courses, they all seemingly won. They eventually try to leave, but the Pickling guards stop them from trying. Green then escapes the exposed area. Anyways, Green spies on Purple to where he sees King Orange. This guy has a purpose. You'll see it later on, I promise. His plan is to take the Minecraft icon and destroy all of Minecraft with it. Anyway, Green gets found and captured in his cell. Meanwhile, the color guy makes two beacons together to glitch himself to other areas, except for Yellow, who meets with Blue using a command block. Orange and Red makes three beacons and end up in some desert, whereas Blue and Yellow escape into a portal. This is the first episode where Alan doesn't give a commentary about it in the series. Anyway, this is a very dramatic episode, and that end when Pig and Green see each other but can't escape together is just depressing. Top up with fucking Scott Buckley, and it makes me cry like I haven't in years. I love the show. EVM 23, Time Ravager. This episode focuses on Yellow and Blue. They try to escape with the piglins, but every attempt just makes them find them again. That's until they find a village in crisis due to a Titan Ravager. Hey, it's just like the episode title. They tried to coordinate the Ravager away, but that's until they realized it just wants food. How's this guy a larger fat ass than me, bro? Anyways, they manage to divert the Titan Ravager and the village is saved. Or until the Ravager has a family and messes with the villagers. But then King Orange comes and kills them. Anyway, King Orange leads Blue and Yellow while Yellow becomes gay and moves them from the village to elsewhere. This episode really shows the dynamics between Blue and Yellow. They're both brainy in their own way, and I personally think Season 3 started the Blue and Yellow ship. I support it a lot, and I think it works well, but it's not my favorite ship. Let's move on. Also, if my voice sounds weird, sorry, I'm sick. EVM 24, Lush Caves. This episode focuses on Orange and Red. Orange and Red are seen walking, but then Red gets more and more hungry. Orange tells him to stop being a baby, and they argue about going home or staying, and then they fight. Meanwhile, monsters appear to go attack them, but then you're not having it. Anyways, they fall into a small hole and go deeper and deeper until ending in a giant and lush cave. And then Orange gets a second thought about the whole scheme, and they make up. Anyways, they come across a new player called AlexCrapper28, and they go through his screen. Eventually, they go through the mail and end up back in Alan's PC, hooray! But then Purple arrives. It's nice to see Orange be the one who does not decide everything. The scenes where they just completely destroy everything while trying to destroy each other is just funny as hell. I love this episode. Not just because it's like serious, but also because like it's sort of like a mix of silly. I like it. EVM 25, The Ultimate Weapon. Oh man, you are not ready for this episode. It's amazing to see. Green eventually escapes the prison and frees the pig as well. Hooray! Purple is seen acting very suspicious and goes to find the Minecraft icon. Meanwhile, King Orange leads Yellow and Blue to designated thrones, but then Green comes in to tell everything. Meanwhile, King Orange plays a sick-ass pig step remix, and in two different areas, Purple fights Orange and Red, and King Orange fights Yellow, Green, and Blue. Purple grabs the Minecraft icon and transports it to the Nether, which takes everything with him. With this, Yellow, Green, and Blue get imprisoned. Orange then realizes he can go back to that guy's email, to which he takes the Minecraft icon from there. Red is seen trying to get to Purple, but King Orange gets to him first, and then the ultimate weapon was made. Just like the title, King Orange makes a vortex, but then the most epic fight scene is shown. It is actually one of the most clever fight scenes I've seen in a Minecraft animation. Meanwhile, Purple tries to escape the mass and ends up in a portal. Meanwhile, the vortex gets larger and everything gets pulled into different portals, and then it transforms into the Warden. This is one of, if not the most clever Minecraft fights I've seen. Using two Minecraft icons to duke it out with it is awesome. There's also a nice yin-yang effect with the King Orange and Orange. This episode is awesome. 1826, the Warden. Orange ends up in a cave and interacts with the Skulk Center. As Orange keeps trying to leave, he makes more noise, but then a Warden is created because of it. It chases down Orange until he finds a candle and a book. He makes a flute with said candle and plays a song, which the Warden remembers and friends Orange. Orange tells the Warden about King Orange and they escape into the portal. Then they fight with King Orange, but King Orange gets punched far enough to find a Minecraft icon. I love this episode because it gives the Warden some lore. I don't know if that's like real, but if it is, it'll be so cool. You could tell by how long these reviews are what my favorite episodes are. 1827, Monster School. If you ever seen Lil Craft's Monster School series, then you'll have a blast from the past. They got everything, from the students to the traditional classes to the rankings. It's also good. Anyways, Red ends up in a monster school and has to attend classes. It feels weird to see Herobrine and Red interact despite what happened back in 15. Anyways, Red has to do these classes but ends up failing most of them because of the other students. That is until they end up in a team tag race. Red manages to help him proceed, but they still ignore him. That's when this team gets a sense of morality and helps out Red back, and so they win the race. Red then says everything and gets his team up to the portal to help out Orange. They then defeat King Orange, or so they thought. I love this episode because of how they represented Monster School. It's not brain-rotted as the younger generations, and it keeps up the theme of its roots. There's someone even making a remake of Monster School. Goes up to them if you haven't. 1828, the raid. Yellow and Blue end up back at the village where a raid takes place. Yellow and Blue get locked up with the villagers. They then work together to make an underground mining area. While Blue gathers materials, Yellow goes to some other villagers and makes a command block staff. Better than yet, it's Blue! They're made for each other, I swear. With them all gabbled up, Blue helps to stop the raid, but Yellow meets with the Titan Ravager, and they form something. Yellow comes back and scares the pillagers away, and so the raid was cleared. And then they go back to the portal to save everyone, but it's to no avail as King Orange combines the two Minecraft icons together and makes an absolute beast of a weapon. I love how this episode is a good two-parter to episode 23. I love Yellow and Blue's dynamics too. It's one of my favorite in all of season 3 too, and teases what to expect from King Orange, but even giants can be outclassed. Cause I may have spoiled some of the ranking, but we have to come across my favorite episode. Sorry for spoiling number 1. Anyway. 1829, No Block Universe. Green ends up in this universe with floating mobs that can sing. Green asks to look for Purple, and as he moves on for the other areas, he discovers new ways to communicate. It's like each clan has different accents. Green that gets the ability to sing without the use of no blocks. This lets him catch up to Purple. Green asks what Purple is supposed to be. Purple then crashes out and tells Green his entire backstory. How he was criticized by his dad for being too soft, so he had to make himself worth something to earn that love. And after he couldn't save his first kingdom, he came to King Orange for help. But even King Orange wasn't giving him the love he wanted, so it felt as he was in a lost cause. Green then tells him that he shouldn't have to pick a side, and that he should be himself, which your color guy will accept for him no matter what. Green then makes out with Purple, yes! Yes, I love this, yes! In all seriousness, they make up for it and Purple goes to fight back against King Orange. You know it's a good episode when Aaron Grooves and Scott Buckley are both involved in this. You know it's a great episode when this episode alone is the reason why so many people ship Green and Purple, me included. This single video was the reason for Grape Duo, the largest ship in all of Alan Becker, as of my knowledge, to flourish. I've actually gotten emotional about this video too, which sounds stupid but it's true. This episode gave me a greater feeling about anything else I've seen, and I'm happy to say it's still my favorite after almost 2 years of my old ranking video. I love Alan Becker's entire channel for it. Now onto the second favorite video. AVM 30, The King. This episode basically explains why King Orange had to do all this. It starts with King Orange hanging out with his supposed son, Gold. They explore a festival-like area until Gold ends up over to this Minecraft booth. Gold gets excited and wants to try it, to which King Orange lets him try it. As Gold gets transported into the Minecraft world, it suddenly corrupts and kills him from the inside. This causes King Orange to have a permanent and personal vendetta against Minecraft and wants to destroy it from himself. For this, he learns all about Minecraft and goes to search for a command block. King Orange then makes a lot of prototype staffs to use. Eventually, one of them works, but realizes it's not enough. He goes in search of the Minecraft game icon. He sees the color gang on TV with his block. That's when Purple sees his plan and wants to help. And then we're at present day. Purple helps defeat King Orange with the color gang. It goes back and forth until Herobrine appears, but then King Orange manages to just suck everything into the block. Herobrine escapes into red and takes him over for some more, but even that can't work with that. With that, he manages to get every ally back in until the original 6 stickmen are left. They try to stop him to no avail, but that's when Purple decides to power through King Orange. King Orange then gets a sense that Purple and Gold are one of the same. This causes King Orange to change at the last minute, but it's too late for him and he dies. Meanwhile, the original 5 have to play hot potato with his staff and take it back to Alan's PC. While that happens, King and Orange and Purple are in their consciousness or something, and King Orange runs over to say sorry to Purple. Everyone eventually comes back to life and everything is now fine. Everything goes home and both Minecraft icons go to their respective owners. Have you ever seen an episode with a stinger scene? Have you also realized it completely parallels the start of Season 3? This is one of, if not the Minecraft episode that makes a grown man cry. The way everything ties together, all the different dynamics between each fight and drama scene. Even watching this as I make the script had me tear up a tiny bit. How could something as simple as a silly concept become so emotional? The best bit about it is that we're only halfway. We reached the half checkpoint. Get ready for about 30 episodes, give or take. Also watch the real-time version of all Season 3 to get a better glimpse. It's actually really funny as well. AVM31, Ultimate Minecraft Race. Now we're back to silly! Genuinely, why did they do this? Anyways, Yellow sets a Minecraft race course and gets the rest of the main 5 to go down it. During the race, they all come up with different ways to go faster and faster. They also try to hinder each other. While this happens, they all split off into different areas. Orange and green end up in this jungle area, while red and blue end up in this Arctic area. Eventually, they aren't even using minecarts anymore, and they're just finding their own ways to make it through the course, such as red being on a horse and blue using potions. Eventually, they all group together and push for the final sprint. Eventually, they all make it through and argue about it, but then...
You all win. It's a tie.
A tie? You're kidding me! A tie!
I actually voiced over this episode because it was just enjoyable. I hope they will keep making silly videos like these. It makes me happy. Even 32, the chef. Ah yeah, a food episode. Considering I'm practically fat, I love this episode. Everyone is very, very bored and worn out over having the most basic food, but Blue is slipping on some ramen. She shows all of them the neat tricks of cooking and makes them all ramen for them to eat. Blue then explains how he got this recipe, and goes to the village about it and asks around. A chef comes to and reveals to them a cookbook, but they can't just trade for it, no. The chef wants them to make food for it. After they make pancakes, pizzas, and other things with a few hours along the way, the real challenge begins. Everyone is set to go out to different areas and search for recipes to make a lot of foods. I love how authentic everything is. There's a mix of Latin American, French, and Asian places, which is fun to see. They all eventually come back and get to work with what they learned. The chef arrives to review them and it's all good. And Blue gets handed the cookbook, hooray! But then it's empty. The chef reveals the cookbook is what you've learned throughout. And with enough of your own research, you can be who you want to be. Yeah, so they're just eating the food. The episode was fun to see. It finally shows what Blue is destined to be. He was a cook before, but it actually shows what he can do. Also, his Netherworld pizza is funny as hell. I wonder what it tastes like. Actually, I don't want to know. AVM 33, Lucky Block Staff. The gang are seen playing with the staff by using different blocks, which all have their own abilities. They get to a lucky block but realize they shouldn't because of past problems. And to continue using it, Red makes a bee creeper. After they finish having fun with it, Red decides to steal the staff to use with a lucky block. In the lucky block world, a selector goes haywire, and a random blocks start popping out. Then the lucky blob orb grabs the selector, becomes sentient and tries to attack everyone, but then they all get transported to the lucky block world, to which a giant tower is formed. The color gang The color gang have to go through a lot of mobs and staffs. They go for a queen bee, a shulker, an axolotl, a polar bear, a cow, a boat? Sure. Eventually, they make it to the top of the tower, to where they see the original staff, to where it uses a lot of blocks as shields and weapons, and the color gang go to stop it. But it's all for nothing as staffs get taken one by one, but Red gets bees to kill the sentient staff, sacrificing the bee creeper with it. As the world crumbles, they manage to escape, yay! But Red goes into timeout. I love how this episode really goes for the true randomness of the Lucky Block again. Also, the Herobrine staff was really awesome to see. Red is such a goober, such a little stink. Also, I forgot to mention this in the script, but someone actually made a mod of this cool mechanism. It's so awesome. Please play it.
Avian 34, the prank. I remember I reviewed this video but being incredibly critical about it, saying it's one of the worst and how I said it's just Red pranking Green. But now that I'm not 14, I find this episode really enjoyable. It starts with Red preparing Orange a cake, but pranks him. Red then pranks Blue, then Yellow, and then Green. Or so he thought. Green manages to avoid all of Red's pranks. This leads to Red just trying to get hit on the Green, to which it still doesn't work. That's when Red goes to Purple for help, and they discuss a plan to get Green. Green is invited for a picnic, but along the way gets 4 randos to make a giant cake to fall onto Green. He avoids it, but gets caked in the face anyway. My only question is, what did Bro do? He was just trying to avoid getting hit, but it turned into this wild goose chase. It's a really fun episode by all means, but give him a break. Or not.
Avian 35, no block concert. Green hosts the concert for the mobs. As it goes on, a silverfish goes onto stage and messes around with the concert. It then turns into this Tom and Jerry style chase, but then more and more silverfish flood the area and invade the concert. The other stick figures aren't even trying to help Green now. Anyways, do you guys want to hear Rush E play? It's genuinely so fun to hear it like this. Green then creates this giant music tornado, which kind of ruins the place, but not really. Anyways, it gets crushed and the crowd goes wild the end. A lot of people genuinely feel bad for Green in this, but I personally think all of this was planned by Green himself. Why would there be a random silverfish in the auditorium? Wouldn't have to be high maintenance to keep them away? And also, Green was acting so goofily angry, so it makes you wonder. And if you're watching this, let me know please. This episode is also just really amazing because of course it's a music episode, so of course I'm gonna enjoy it. I love everything about it too. The Rush E remix is also really good. So good, so good, so good.
EVM 36, Bed Wars.
This is the first episode of the series I have not ranked yet, so let's see how it is. Red, Yellow, Green, and Blue are playing a makeshift of Bed Wars. After seeing a streamer play it, they join Hypixel and join a server. They try their best to play but realize they met with some sweats, and even with that they win against the team. That's when they absolutely smoke the hell out of everyone else, getting new perks, leveling up, like a regular team would. They managed to get a streak of 99, but the original sweats join in and turn on cheats. With that, they try to fight and realize they aren't winning well. But then a crazy fight happens, and it looks like it's winning, but then not winning. But then it goes down to 1v1. It's the final hearts they are on, but then a mod joins and bans all of them from cheating. But it's okay, I still think the sweats had the upper hand. This episode was a lot of fun. I played Bed Wars from time to time, and it's a good game of teamwork and combat. I like how they can integrate real players into this game. I want Alan Becker to import more games into this too, like Sky Wars or the Hypixel minigames.
Avian 37,
Hardcore Manhunt. It starts with Blue making food for them all, and then everyone gets set off for adventures, but Yellow makes it all look too easy for everyone. Eventually, a large house is made, but they also decide to transport to different areas until landing at a cherry blossom biome. Yellow gets some armor stands to organize everything throughout the night. As well as that, they also train for fighting skills, but then a large black thing sweeps over and glitches the chest. They try to remove it, but then Yellow staff gets infected and sets the difficulty to hardcore. They test it on an armor stand, but it doesn't come back. That's when the armor stands turn on the stick figures and get revenge. Oh, and the staff is gone too. They try to escape by entering and exiting out of a cave, but that doesn't work. So they power up to escape. The armor stands go to climb up, but the stick figures get onto some phantoms and they try to fly away. They don't manage to and fall into some snow. Meanwhile, the King Orange is teleported to the Far Lands? Wait, I thought those were removed. Well, it doesn't matter. This episode was actually voiced over by me, and it's probably my favorite video ever. It's like a mix of serious and silly at the same time, and it's executed perfectly. I think that's why It's one of my favorite episodes of Animation vs. Minecraft of all time. It's so good.
1838, the Farlands. After the events of last time, an armored stand is joined with the Color Gang. Blue finds some trees and they eat apples. As they go deeper into the Farlands, they realize it's constantly changing. Meanwhile, they manage to find King Orange, to which is set up to a base within the Farlands. While they sleep, Green wakes up to see the armored stand is trying to betray them, and so they go off to stop it. But Green gets kidnapped! The Color Gang realize Green is missing, so they look out for him. Red and Blue enter into a glitched out cave, and while that happens, King Orange gets a PTSD effect. Blue and Red up in the forest, whereas King Orange and Purple end up in the Aether Dimension? This episode gives me mixed feelings. On one hand, it's fun to see every other thing going on, but it sort of bores me a little. It's a good episode, but I wouldn't really find memorable. I don't know what it is. Oh, speaking of Aether. Event 39, the Aether. Following the events of last episode, King Orange and Purple go explore the Aether Dimension. Purple just wants to explore more, but King Orange is trying to let Purple survive the areas. They defeat a boss and get lots of weapons until arriving at a temple. They meet up with some Valkyries, which lead them to the center of the temple, to which she meets Skuskadal, the Valkyrie Queen. King Orange goes to fight Skuskadal with diamond tools, but it proves to be not strong enough, so he uses better measures. But then a player comes and kills her, robbing Purple of the glory along the way. King Orange tries to kill the player, but they manage to escape. As the player kills a boss to get more loot, Purple then becomes the Valkyrie Queen, as honored by his dad. After a fierce battle, Purple manages to kill the player, but not before that creature comes and escapes after watching. You can tell Purple was just made for flying, dude. The way his wings also show his true emotions is just aww. This episode is also a nice breakaway from the main vibe that we usually see. I love to see some Purple character development, and King Orange character development. Yeah. Oh my god, we're finally done! That is all of Animation vs. Minecraft out of the way! Of course, that isn't everything finished, as we still have 3 more series to go through, but thankfully, all of them are much more smaller. So, with that out of the way, let's move on to the one that started it all. Animator vs. Animation. Here we are, the one that started it all. A Geico victim, who being born later, is created and continuously made fun of by Alan. They fight with different tools, such as the brush tool, lasso tool, among others. Victim then makes clothes of himself, and it all seems hopeless for Alan, but he manages to click onto the clothes button, and the animation ends. Yeah, there isn't a lot to say, considering this was the first one, and it was created all the way back in 2006, while also being 2 minutes long. But it's a good foundation of what it is next. Wait, 2006? Oh, happy 20 years. Animator vs. Animation. Alan is back and decides to make the chosen one, who is all-powerful. He destroys the Adobe Flash program and fights with the desktop icons, such as Firefox and AOL Instant Messenger. An antivirus software sees the chosen one as a virus and he gets captured, but instead of deleting him, he has to spend his life removing pop-up ads. Like the last time, there isn't a lot to say about this instead of realizing it's just as short as the first one by like a minute and a half. But it's fun to see it nonetheless. Animator vs. Animation 3. As Alan goes for his desktop, the chosen one comes across a page about stick figure slavery. In doing so, he breaks free and goes to destroy Alan's PC again. Clippy comes to help out Alan. During that, Alan makes the Dark Lord, where Alan makes him kill the chosen one. Alan is also just playing solitaire, but of course it gets ruined. The chosen one and the Dark Lord fight on top of the window, and a minesweeper, until the chosen one gets the Dark Lord to join his side, to which the two of them destroy Alan's PC with a blue screen of death. Fun fact, this episode was supposed to be the finale of Animator vs. Animation until Animator vs. Animation 4. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Animator vs. Animation 4. Hello, the second coming. We love you. It starts with Alan drawing as a presumably orange stick figure animation, but Alan has to help his wife with something. As he leaves the room, the stick figure comes to life. They end up on a website about fighting stick figures. He manages to break into the website and wanted to fight, but the other stick men befriend him. With that, the second coming leads them to the outside world, where they mess about on Alan's computer. Alan comes back and deletes them one by one. Alan tries to destroy the second coming, but he can't.
This leads them to a wild goose chase, with Alan trying to stop the Second Coming from destroying everything. The Second Coming destroys Alan's mouse and gets it back, but Orange has made a lot of drawings. Alan goes to delete them, but realizes his stick figure can make drawings just as good as Alan, if not better. Alan brings back the fighting stick figures, and after 5 months, makes a bond with the Second Coming, and they both help make animations. Also, the Second Coming completely smokes the fighting figures. This is probably the perfect way that they could have introduced the Second Coming. Him being a successor to an already powerful character, but still being all silly about it, is a nice balance. Also, over the years, he's developed his own character, and not just a powerful god. I love this episode a lot. Also, you know what's something funny? There's a 10-month gap between the release of this video and the release of Undertale. AVA5, the virus. Alan and the Second Coming are animating a flower when Alan's computer starts to overheat. That's when they look deeper and realize it's a virus. They try to destroy it, but the app cracks open. A Virebot comes to life and tries to kill the Second Coming, while destroying the flower with it too. The Virebot tries to kill the other stick figures, but gets trashed. But then the stick man gets trashed until a bright light appears, and out comes the Chosen One, to which it ends on a cliffhanger. What a funny way to start episode 5. Episode 5 was originally a mix of episodes 5 to 8, but those have now been since more classified as separated, so I have to stick to the script. Let's just move on. There isn't really a lot to say about it anyways. A6, the Chosen One's return. The fight begins. A lot of epic fighting happens between the two of them, the Chosen One and the Virebot. The Virebot gets control of the start button and turns it into this giant bot. That's when the Chosen One goes Super Saiyan and absolutely pummels the bot. The Chosen One then leaves and the other 5 go in the portal thing. This episode should have honestly been connected to AVA5. I like it, but it's in the same hole as the Killer Bunny, where it kinda didn't need to be here, honestly. AVA7, the flashback. It starts with a montage of the Chosen One and the Dark Lord destroying the internet until we get to present day, or at least a little before, where the Dark Lord makes a virus to corrupt the world with. The Chosen One tries to stop the Dark Lord, but it's for nothing. The Chosen One sees the virus went to Alan's PC, and goes up to stop it. Anyways, after the whole thing, the main 5 follow the succulent guy into the portal, and it ends on another cliffhanger, hooray. Like the other episode, it should have just been joined with 5 and 6. Maybe that's why it's called AVA5 before. They're just sort of filler, but also not. It's fine though, genuinely. It's just not as, what's the right word for this? I can't think of anything, sorry. AVA8, the showdown. Now this episode deserves to be on its own. We get a sick fighting scene between the Chosen One and the Dark Lord. Meanwhile, the Color Gang climb up and explore the sort of shack that they're in. Red, being the clumsy guy he is, sends the Chosen One to the Dark Lord through the internet. The Dark Lord comes back into the shack and puts on some bracelet that makes him more powerful per se. While this happens, Yellow hacks into the computer and gets Alan into the Outernet area. He absolutely wrecks the hell out of the Dark Lord, but then Firebots come and delete him out of existence. That's when the Second Coming and the gang come and try to save the Chosen One. The Dark Lord one by one kills each off the six-figure gang, except for the Second Coming, who resists everything. But even as hope is still at a loss, this scene happens. The Second Coming brings everyone back, but passes out along with it. But he wakes up and is happy to see everyone back, and they all go home. What a good way to actually end the episode like that. For a while, people thought that was the end of it all, the whole series. But as of now, 4 newer episodes have come out, so it's time to review those too. AVA9, wanted. The Chosen One is being chased down by some dudes in jets, but gets hit. That's where he decides to escape up to Alan's PC. Meanwhile, Alan is play fighting with his stick figure friends until the Chosen One appears to try and get the Color Gang to fight against the guys. The Second Coming is forced to fight against them, but they get captured. That's when these guys go into a building, enter into an office, and talk with a boss of some kind, or show like the Lethal with the Wanda poster, yeah. That's when we see... Victim?! Lol, this episode was a huge surprise when I first saw it get announced. I know what I said is pretty brief, but the fact that a stick figure animation can have so much going for it is just insane. The way that they utilize the pen is so awesome, such as a Second Coming using it for protection, like making animals and the like. I love this episode, and I'm really glad that Animator vs. Animation is, sort of back, because it kind of tells a lot about what hasn't happened yet. Ava A10, the box. The Color Gang are seen looking around for the company with a rocket. Oh, by the way, the company's called Rocket Corp, lol. And anyway, they eventually see a truck with a Rocket Corp sign on it and travel through. Next, some workers are in a room and they're trying out the pen that the Second Coming brought, but realize it doesn't work, which is when the Second Coming comes out for something. Meanwhile, Victim enters into the box where the Chosen One is, and starts to beat the living crap out of him. The Second Coming is taken into this testing box with the pen. The workers realize it only works on him. Meanwhile, the Chosen One is interrogated by Victim about Alan, but when he couldn't tell anything, he gets hooked onto this headset which can extract memories. They have on a frame about the Second Coming, but as they explore more, they end up seeing that Yellow is responsible for bringing up Alan, and so they have a new plan. When I first started watching this episode, I thought it was meh, but that one bit made me laugh was how the Second Coming basically just didn't give a flying fuck about any of the workers here. I mean, I wouldn't too if I was captured for nothing. Like, who do they think I am? AVA11, Victim. This entire episode summarizes about Victim. Victim wasn't just a thing Alan made as one time. He was created as a sort of toy for Alan to play with. He played with Victim for months until his mother had to call him down for dinner. That's where Victim escapes through a rocket all the way through a series of tubes and planets until he eventually lands into a PC owned by Grace. Grace is making a character called Mitzi, which gets transported to Newgrounds and eventually to the Internet. But as Victim crashes through the Internet, this causes everything to be connected to it. Victim then crash lands and later on, Mitzi arrives in this area. Mitzi sees Victim and eventually meets some other people. Victim follows this group of people until they find a village. Victim sees the broken windmill but manages to fix it with many tools. Victim and Mitzi eventually bond more and more, which causes them to start dating. Victim keeps getting trauma about Alan, but with Mitzi by her side, he manages to get over it. We then see it's Rocket Corp's 4th anniversary, but that's when people start disappearing one by one, including Mitzi, until they eventually arriving at Newgrounds, where they see a lot of people from Newgrounds being destroyed. But then, Mitzi gets killed by the Chosen One and Dark Lord, so the original mercenary escapes. This mercenary is then hooked onto some memory headset, where Victim sees his own wife get murdered. Now in 2018, and Victim sees that the Chosen One and Alan are connected. This episode is really heartbreaking the more you learn about Victim. Victim was seen as more one guy who had a hatred for Alan than the Chosen One, and many people couldn't figure out why. But as you watch this series, you start to realize more and more of how these anti-heroes aren't villains, because they are, but because they are broken. Oh, did you see Purple and Corndog Guy? Now you do. AVA-12, Hacker. Yellow is dragged into the box with the Chosen One to be hooked into a headset. The Second Coming tries to escape and use his full power, but when it doesn't work, he tries meditating. Red, green, and blue enter into vents and distract the remaining mercenaries and smoke the hell out of them. Alan is then transported back to the Internet, and after that, Victim then gets renamed to be Hacker. Oh, sorry, H4CK3R for him. And the Chosen One is renamed to be No One. Anyways, Hacker arrives on Alan's desktop, and they have an awesome fight. Alan and Hacker are actual beasts in this fight. It's genuinely insane. But even that's not enough, as Alan eventually gets unplugged his computer, leaving Hacker helpless and alone. But then... the Dark Lord comes back. The same guy that got destroyed by the Second Coming. The same guy that killed Mitzi. The same guy that destroyed Alan's computer. He got brought back by the remaining Firebots and spied on everything. The Dark Lord is genuinely impressed by how much ass Hacker whooped, and shows that he can revive Frisbee too. Hacker first is skeptical, but then
they join forces. Dude, I am not ready for 8813. Once it comes out, I'm gonna be genuinely screaming in my pillow. I do not want anyone to die, dude. This episode was genuinely insane. Also, I love you, Alan, but that look from within the screen, it does not work on you, man.
AV813, machine. You gotta be kidding. I had just finished the entire video, gotten it posted, and waited for the premiere, but now we're here to having to fix up the ranking. It's fine though. I hope it's worth it, no bias, guys. It starts with the RJB team going over to see Yellow and freeing him, and they manage to find the second coming. Meanwhile, Hacker and the Dark Lord come back, to which Hacker holds a meeting for all personnel. Also, the mercenaries come back. Oh, and also the Culligan discusses of his workers. They enter into the room where Hacker sees how the Second Coming revived them, and so they come up with the idea for the Second Coming's power to be used for Mitzi's revival. Victim then creates a machine and gets the Second Coming inside of it, but then the Dark Lord secretly puts some dark energy into it. Surprisingly, Hacker manages to bring this power up and gets Mitzi as a source, to which she is alive! I think, is that Mitzi? Yeah, it's Mitzi. At least, I'm not sure. Mitzi is apparent to have lost her memory, or emotion for that matter. It cuts to a sequence of Hacker being in this array of memories, to which Mitzi is blocked because of the Dark Lord's energy. Suddenly, the Newgrounds bubble comes over and shows that the Dark Lord tricked her. The Dark Lord killed Mitzi all this time. Then, here goes, the most craziest fight scene happens. The Color Gang eventually gets caught and taken away, but the Dark Lord and Hacker are still fighting. The Dark Lord eventually falls into his goo thing and tries to stop Hacker, but Hacker just removes some power from him. Then the entire facility is used up, but Hacker's powers are then depleted. That's when Hacker gets slashed, and with the last bit of hope, Hacker releases Mitzi's virus, to which she sees him dead. That's when the Second Coming just survives, Victim, and everything else. But remember when the Second Coming's machine was corrupted by the Dark Lord? Well, as the Second Coming arrives, more people get corrupted, but then Hazard throws a nuke, which obliterates the facility. Fortunately, everything is alive, or, well, I don't know! Hacker and the Dark Lord then make something better, and Mitzi grabs the pencil. What the fuck was that? I was at the edge of my seat just watching this. Seeing Victim corrupted and everything, and then seeing the Second Coming just disabled of any power, it's just, Jesus Christ! I'm genuinely scared for what's to come up next. I may have said so much about this episode, but my god, it is crazy. This is easily top 3, if not top 1. It's so fucking good. Dude, I was not ready for AV813. Oh my god, this series is so hype-inducing. It was very badly made, considering Alan was 16 at the time, but it became something it wasn't, and I love it so much. Anyways, all the main series are finished, so that means we can get to things that are a lot easier, starting with animation versus math. I don't know if it's just me, but this series is criminally underrated. I haven't seen many people talk about it, but it's actually amazing. It starts with Orange ending up in this area until the number 1 floats down. Orange then plays around with it until reaching up to 100. Eventually, he learns to subtract and goes to -1. That's when Euler's formula pops out and escapes. So Orange goes through many other math solving techniques, such as multiplication, exponentation, square rooting, until seeing this formula again, to which it escapes again. We then see stuff about circles, such as pi. Orange does some more messing around until ending up with the formula again. This time it gets crazier, to where Orange makes a gun and more constants are created. But then Orange makes a humongous laser shooter which completely shatters their math world. Orange and the formula eventually settle the differences, and Orange goes back home. Now, I'm a huge math nerd, so it's no surprise that I love an episode like this. It starts out with something so simple, but then it becomes a giant confusing mess, and that mess is amazing. Oh, And as the more you get into the series, the more confused you'll be.
Animation versus physics. It starts with Orange going down into this sort of world, where he learns things such as distance, velocity, mass, friction, energy storage, and more. Orange eventually sees a rocket and plans to get up there. He does so by flinging himself from a tree. After landing on the rocket and moving, a cowboy hat lands onto him. Orange then sees an entire solar system among him. He uses the planets to round it to go faster, and eventually, he's 1% the speed of light. He sees a magnet bar and makes a solenoid core, which causes him to go through magnetic fluxes, and across many galactic bodies. Eventually, he comes into the orbit of a black hole. That's when the second coming goes inside of the black hole, to which he falls into the singularity. After falling and going through many of the rough changes, he eventually goes down to find a second Orange? A second coming, if you will. This Orange is already preparing the past Orange for everything he needs to know. Next, time eventually goes backwards, to which more and more things get dropped in, and so that Orange goes into the hyperbolic tube, and the whole cycle repeats. When you see this, you sort of understand everything, but also don't. It's fun to see all the mechanics and what makes physics real. I've always been into physics, and I've made a video about the episode. It's fun to see what our universe can comprehend.
Animation versus geometry. This episode starts with Orange appearing in a one-dimensional space. He eventually makes another point with angles. Eventually, he lands on a particular function and the golden ratio appears. Eventually, the golden ratio gets Orange to help out the equation, and they become friends. But then a 4-dimensional hypercube appears and tries to attack them, and so they run off and try to fight back. They eventually escape, but is still following them. So Orange uses the golden ratio as a sort of skateboard to escape. That's when they make a pentagonal shape, and plan to enclose the hypercube in various geometric shapes, such as the tetrahedron, an octahedron, a cube, among many others, until the golden ratio sacrifices itself to kill the hypercube. Orange looks into the structure but accidentally falls in, and the whole cycle is repeated. I don't think I've learned this level of geometry yet, with Phi and other sequences, but it's fun to see Orange ride Phi like a skateboard. The shapes they made were also really clever, such as the dart shape as a hang glider, among others. I keep saying that. Also, can we talk about the music? That shit is genuinely insane. Animation versus coding. Dude, I love computer science, so it's no surprise to see a coding episode and instantly fall in love with it. This episode does not start with Orange, but this time, Yellow. Yellow wakes up and sees a computer, and eventually realizes it's a coding computer, so eventually tries coding. But as he makes more errors, the computer gets more angrier, and eventually starts attacking Yellow. Eventually, it turns into things such as variables, the funny turtle, ASCII, conversions, physical graphs, and then it turns into Python coded games. Eventually, the computer makes a nuke, which almost kills Yellow, but the computer doesn't survive. The keyboard still works, so Yellow just has to make entire neural sensory networks for the computer to be revived. Yup. I love how complex coding can be. It seems like this fun and simple thing that anyone can understand, but then it turns into this giant thing. Like, what even happens here? I love this episode also for its music, and the computer is really funny to see. I like how it's like a dog in the kind of way. Animation versus addiction. This episode stars Blue this time too long, but Orange appears in it. Blue walks around and finds a button which lets him fly. As he presses the button more, it gets weaker and weaker. Eventually, Blue finds another button, then another, and another, and as he keeps pressing them, he gets more and more weaker and more desperate. Orange eventually sees him and tries to stop him from getting to the buttons, but as Blue tries to fight his addiction, he just can't break through because of the overwhelming amount of happiness he gets from them. But that's when he realizes he needs help more than anything. Orange puts a blindfold on him, and over time, he gets over the addiction of the button and sees the beauty of the world. This episode is probably the most heartbreaking. Blue being trapped and confined by the button's power is sad to see, considering addiction to things such as drugs and alcohol are getting worse and worse. But with enough time and enough support, you can break through those urges and live a good life. Orange and Blue are basically that duo where they feel the calmest in their situations, and hope they stay that way. They're more iconic than people may realize. Also, before you ask, this isn't about another word, so don't even try to be funny about this. And with that, Animation vs. Education is finished. This series is probably the most underrated because of how much it goes under the radar for many people. But I, for one, enjoy it. Because I'm a big nerd anyway. Even then, I'm gonna be graduating soon from secondary school, so this probably means a lot to me. Anyways, we're at the home stretch, so let's push into our final series, Green's Influencer Arc.
Green's channel. Dude, this series is also underrated, and with Green being my favorite character personally, of course I'll enjoy it. The episode starts with them recording compilations of playing basketball and doing many tricks with it. Green then puts these videos into an editing software and shows them the video, but Red gets the idea to put it onto YouTube. With the rest of them making the channel, the gang eventually come up with new ideas for videos, so they make a superhero episode, all with a cityscape and everything. That's when they realize they can mess around with all the different effects that are available. Once it's finished, it turns out to look really bad, so they get rid of most of the effects and upload to the release. The old video eventually comes to life and tries to get vengeance on the Color Gang. The video then starts to eat most of the effects and becomes stronger to destroy the gang. Eventually, the Color Gang slam dunk him into the recycling thing and the recycling bin, and the thing is over. That's until Green gets his first supporter. This channel is actually real, by the way, and it's so awesome to see everything. Short review, but like, oh well, it's still really good. Is Green okay? Green and the gang are making another video, but Green keeps getting distracted by the amount of views he's getting. Eventually, all the views get to his head, and he starts doing what the viewers want to do, instead what he and his friends want to do. The more fame he gets, the more he's invested in making content and ignoring his friends. Green makes a TikTok and gets his friends to dance there. Eventually, Green makes a prank video where he drops his friends into lava, but they are not having it. The rest of the gang see there is something going on with the recycling bin, and when they try to close it, it just explodes. This episode really shovels the idea of what internet fame can do to you. It can lead you to distance yourself from friends and family, and you can become a more terrible person through with it. I'm just glad enough to not end up in that boat. Burnout. I mean, the title is pretty self-explanatory. The video comes back and becomes this giant monster, and it starts attacking the Color Gang. And Green makes another video, lol. The monster video then traps the rest of the Color Gang in a sort of corner, and while that happens, Green is out trying to make more videos, but he's in more and more depression without his friends. He realizes the terrible person he's become and makes an apology video. After that, he realizes the mess of the Google page that had been made and realizes that the video had come back, so he goes over to save his friends. Eventually, Green realizes the video just wants to be uploaded, so he uploads all of his old drafts. After the video is uploaded, they go to play basketball again, but a notification pops on Green's phone, but he's over it, and so the video ends. It's a good way to end the series off. It just shows how much they all treat each other and how they deserve to be together for each other. Anyways, check out his channel, it's really awesome to see. Alright, it's over. Oh my god, I am tired. Let's just get on with it. It's all in a tier, let's just do for it. Starting out in D tier, we have 62 Animator vs Animation 1 and 61 Build Battle. In C tier, we have 60 The Killer Bunny, 59 Textures, 58 The Rediscovery, 57 Animator vs Animation 2, 56 Animator vs Animation 3, 55 Skyblock, 54 Potions. In B tier, we have 53 PvP, 52 Villagers, 51 The Dolphin Kingdom, 50 The Flashback, 49 The Chosen One's Return, 48 Titan Ravager, 47 The Building Contest, 46 Animation vs Minecraft, 45 Lush Caves. How the hell are we already at A tier? 44 The Nether, 43 Redstone Academy, 42 The End, 41 The Virus, 40 The Roller Coaster, 39 The Farlands, 38 The Piglin War, 37 Bed Wars, 36 The Warden, 35 Lucky Blocks, 34 The Raid, 33 The Witch, 32 Beta, 31 Is Green Okay, 30 The Box. S tier, 29 The Chef, 28 Green's Channel, 27 Burnout, 26 Parkour, 25 Cave Spider Roller Coaster, 24 Ultimate Minecart Race, 23 Command Blocks, 22 Monster School, 21 The Aether, 20 The Prank, 19 Note Blocks. S plus, 18 Wanted, 17 The Ultimate Weapon, 16 Animation vs Geometry, 15 Animation vs Math, 14 Animation vs Coding, 13 Animation vs Physics, 12 Note Block Battle, 11 The Showdown. P tier, 10 Victim, 9 Animation vs Addiction, 8 Animator vs Animation 4, 7 The Manhunt, 6 Hacker, 5 Lucky Block Staff, 4 Note Block Musical, 3 The King, and a P plus tier for a final 2 Machine, and 1 Note Block Universe. Thank you for watching. Oh my god, I am sweltering in this heat. I was originally going to be ranking every season, like episode, like Animation versus Minecraft and all that, but I decided to cut that portion out because I am genuinely exhausted and I just want this video to end. Thank you all for actually sticking around until the very end. You all are my legends. I had to make this video, this video took me about a month to make. I started by scripting, but then exams came around and I had to like juggle those around within studying and all that and revisions. But I managed to pull through and I'm currently off for the holidays. Not like the final holidays, but you know what I mean. But I'm off for the current time being so that I can finally push out the final bits of this video. I like to get Alan Becker as the biggest inspiration for this giant video because I love his content. Big thanks to Mochi for, you know, her analysis videos, and of course the music sponsors. These are the people. And thank you to all my subscribers or the people in the live chat that are watching this video. I see you all. Anyways, I have finally got myself some jacket potato and I'm gonna eat that while rendering this entire video because I am exhausted. Thank you for watching. Alfie is out. Also, I know we didn't really reach 2 hours, but it's fine. An hour is good.